Kimbrough up under center. Looking, got some time. Threw that one away. Some confusion there as Olive and Perry had run similar patterns, and then Perry broke it off and started streaking down the field, and the pass went to an open space.
And after the play, Tony Kimbrough was gesticulating all over the place. Hey, you guys are supposed to do this, that, and the other thing, and nobody did it.
He was doing what?
Gesticulating.
I think I got a shot for that. I'm okay now.
I hope so. I hear it's contagious. And Buffalo's going on 4.
Well, instead of bringing Netmo in for the field goal attempt, now there's a timeout call, stoppage of play, and Portland wants to reset their defense on this.
Yeah, they didn't expect Buffalo to go for it. And they were set up for a missed field goal return. And Famel Hankton, defensive lineman up there, saw what was going on and called for the timeout, a good veteran play.
This timeout brought to you by M&T Bank. M&T, all the bank you'll ever need. It's M&T Bank.
And this is an interesting decision from Coach Winham, because, you know, you're in a ball game here. You're only trailing by 3, and your kicker's hot. He's made the field goal, and then he followed up. He put the ensuing kickoff between the pipes. I don't know that you don't give him a chance here with this much time left in this game. If they don't get it and it's 4th and about 4, you're going to give Portland a chance to go up 10 here. But he must feel like he's got something and he can get this. He's got to be pretty sure that they can convert or he wouldn't try. Maybe they try and draw him off sides.
Could be. At any rate, we're going to see what happens. Kimbrough looking under pressure. Hit from behind. Ball is loose, and they rule it an incomplete pass. Saying that Kimbrough's arm was going forward.
And then the flag comes out after that, but boy, you have to wonder about why or what Dave Winham's thinking and going for something like this early. Yeah, the arm was coming forward, I think, so it was not a fumble. But then there was some piling on, some things going on afterwards. But you know what? When you're 0-11, sometimes you throw caution to the wind.
Sideline warning. First warning for the Portland coach. There is no yardage administered. First warning. Timer, please
well, that's Stan Brock.
He's had warnings before.
Yeah.
He doesn't look too concerned about it.
Hey, pal, I got your warning right here.
Yeah. You know what? I'd do what that official did, too. I'd walk way over the other side of the field before I announced I was warning Mr. Brock.
Stan Brock knew how to play this game. He was good.
Well, the defense has to rise up now and save the bacon.
That means Ron Lopez is back up under center for the Dragons. And they're going to run the football with Dillard. He's got some room inside the 10, down at the 9-yard line before John DeWitt, along with Eddie Brown, bring him down.
And Tony Burst made a nice play from his linebacker spot, coming up and throwing the hammer and then blocking that thing up. Now here's that last play where Buffalo's going for it on 4th and 4, and they just went with the quick turnaround routes, and Forest Dragons jumped those routes. There was nobody open right away for Tony Kimbrough, so he tried with the pump fake, and then those guys will release and go longer, and he just tries to lay it up and get it to him, but the rush got there.
Actually, that pass was almost picked off, but a errant foot came up and knocked it away. And penalty markers fly, back by the quarterback, Lopez, as the pass goes incomplete, intended for McFadden.
And Lynn Rowland is making a case with the officials. He might be the guilty party on this. Usually when you're the guy trying to explain something, and I think that's what happened. They held Rowland.
I think he was.
And he was making his case for that.
Yes.
A lot of litigation.
Well, they go to a couple of different schools. One is finger pointing school.
Right.
They go to that.
Holy, number 33 of the offense. 8-yard penalty, repeat second down.
And the other is plead your case to the zebra school.
Well, it worked for Lynn Rowland. He did both. He pointed and pleaded.
3-point advantage for Portland. We're down to 2:45 to play in the first half. We're here at the Rose Garden in the Great Pacific Northwest, Portland, Oregon. Motion man, Dillard. He's open, and he makes the catch and finally pushed out of bounds by Eddie Brown.
He was awful close to getting the first down there. Here he is coming in motion, and it's difficult to cover a man when he has a full head of steam. So you have to give him a little respect, a little cushion, and that's what Eddie Brown does. And when you get that, you just break that route off, and if the timing's there, the protection's there, then you can make it happen.
Well, timeout to stop the clock. Oh, they're going to actually, it's a measurement. So it's an official's timeout. They'll bring the chains all the way across the field. Well, you talked about it, Ray, when you're only down 3. Now, you could be down 10 if they get 6 in the extra point out of this.
And in particular, in that kind of field position where Buffalo was, right around their own 10-yard line, you're giving the Forest Dragons, if you don't make it, an awful short field to work with.
First and goal to go.
Well, you know, I was saying sometimes, you know, you get to be 0-11 and you get desperate, and you know, desperate times call for desperate measures.
Agreed. From the 4, they run the ball. Running room, did he get into the end zone? Yes, touchdown, Portland. It's Britt Bowden.
And that had to be one of the ugliest touchdown runs I've ever seen. I mean, Britt Bowen, he took it in, he got it in, but it was not pretty. I mean, watch this guy. He's kind of tippy-toeing, all 250 pounds of him. Little hop step here. He actually got in because Lynn Rowland jumped on his back, pushed him in. I don't know that he would have made it without Rowland's help.
Alcorn on for the extra point try. He's been perfect all night long. And now whistle. Lots of pushing and shoving, and we'll wait for him to sort it out. The touchdown, 3 plays, 14 yards, and it's Bowen on a 3-yard run. And it took the Dragons a minute 51 to score.
Number 18 of the offense. 3-yard penalty. This is the try only. No clock, just a 25-second clock.
Bobby McGowan's with motion prior to the snap, so they back him up. But for this big guy kicking the football, this is nothing to him. After he drilled a 59-yard field goal.
Yeah, he wants him to move it back.
There you go, Barry.
Oh, and he missed that one.
How about that?
Wow. A real rarity. Well, at any rate, it's 26-17. Portland out in front. Bowen with the 3-yard touchdown run.
Got to wonder if that's going to come back and haunt him. Well, it's haunted him already. We'll see if they can overcome that now.
All right, the kickoff. Bobby Olive is back to be taken off the screen. It's loose in the end zone. Still loose. Olive scoops it up, tries to get out, and does before he gets out of bounds. And they're going to back it up. I think he got out of bounds just outside the goal line. I think he was pushed out there.
Yeah, and it's kind of scary when you know that you got the thundering herd coming down after you. Watch, he's going to be looking up for the herd and not the football. Where are they? Where are they? I know they're coming. He's kind of feeling around, groping in the dark to get his hands on the football. You're better off getting that football and then worry about the herd.
Well, so Tony Kimbrough is going to have to be tossing out of his own end zone. Looking for Olive. He makes the catch and hauled down at the 10. Ricks with the stop defensively for Portland.
Here's Bobby Olive starting all the way back against those boards. It's just going to break it out quick, a timing pattern. It's right there on time. And then he'll take a hit. And you see Bobby Olive a lot of times take big hits like that. He'll go backwards because he's not that big. At 6 foot, 165 pounds. He's got the sure hands, he's got the moves, but when it comes to a physical confrontation, Bobby Olive's going to lose that one.
So enough yardage for a first down. Plenty of time here for the Destroyers offense to strike again. That one went right through the hands of Eddie Brown at the 20-yard line.
That's just a lack of concentration from Eddie Brown. And we've seen a couple of drops tonight. And that's something that the Destroyers did early in the year. But they haven't done much of late. I don't know if it looked like Eddie Brown was just swatting at a fly. Didn't really get the hands ready to make the catch. Still shaking his head.
Olive has 7 catches for 70 yards. Other receivers just 21 yards total. Kimbrough got his man. It's Eddie Brown as he crosses midfield and finally gets knocked down at the 22-yard line of Portland. Well, that's a veteran quarterback move right there. You throw to the receiver, and he doesn't make a good play. And you come right back to that guy to build his confidence right back up again.
Yeah, and it's especially helpful if he's open again, which Eddie Brown was. And see, Kimbrough was actually going to go over to the other side. It was covered, and so he goes back to the second option, Eddie Brown, and that's open, and Brown redeems himself with a grab. And it's imperative that Buffalo get points on this drive. And they have plenty of time, 46 seconds in arena football. The last 46 seconds of a half or of a game is an eternity because they stop the clock on going out of bounds and on incomplete passes only in that final minute. So you can have plenty of time to move that short distance down the field.
That's what it's all about, being a Forest Dragon fan. Speaking, well, I hope it doesn't leave a deposit on her head.
Yeah, we've been through that once already today.
We have. Yeah, just before we got on the bus at the hotel to come over here, poor Rico Mack was getting ready to get on, and he got dumped on by a bird.
A flyby.
That's the only way to describe it.
A flyby dropping.
Everybody thought it was funny except Rico. Going to the end zone. He had Olive open, and the pass was too high. So the marker is down back at midfield.
And you were right, because Bobby Olive was definitely open. And he's got blazing speed. Look at him. He's hitting full speed, coming off a little shake move, runs around his defender, and they actually double teaming him. They got one guy to chip him early, and then they're trying to pick him up with another guy late.
Number 71 of the defense. 8-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, that's huge. That's Chris Butterfield. Speaking of huge, 6 feet 305 out of Humboldt State. I guess if he's going to hold, it's going to be pretty easy to spot him.
And now somebody said something, and they're going to get another one.
I think it was Bowen who may have said something.
Got to watch what you say out there.
They're going to mark it off again.
Unsportsmanlike penalty, number 71 of the defense. 8-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, that's 16 yards in penalties against Chris Butterfield. He stood behind Bowen and uttered it, but the official still caught him.
Yeah. Usually, if you don't get in his face and say it, I mean, you can do it offhandedly, you're not going to get hit with it. I'm wondering what he might have said. I'm sure it's not something you say in front of mother or at school or something like that. And look at this, the penalties for this Portland team. They came in as one of the most penalized team in arena football. And they had actually 14th in penalties, 123 penalties coming into the game, and a couple of costly ones. 6 penalties already tonight.
Kimbrough, 11 of 22, 108 yards and a touchdown so far in this game. They run the ball to the near side. Tony Burse has got it, and he's knocked down as he crosses the 5-yard line. And we have 33 seconds left, so quickly they call timeout. And again, Dave Winham conferring with quarterback Tony Kimbrough. Last week, Ray, they put up 46 points in a losing effort. Had the ball at the 13-yard line of the San Jose SaberCats and couldn't punch it in to win the game.
Yeah, and the offense is going along pretty good right now. Now here's Burst with a cutback, and he's got a little bit of a seam, and that's not a bad pickup, really. But you've got 5 yards to go. You've got 33.2 seconds to do it. I believe they have 1 timeout left. So, you know, I think maybe you go to the air.
You want to
this
eat
point.
some clock here, though, too,
Yeah,
if you can.
You could
right?
probably take one more run at it. It's 2nd down and goal from the 5. You could take one more run at it. I'd like to see something a little tricky, maybe give the motion man on a pitch, a little halfback pass, or maybe throw that sleeper screen to the tight end, something like that. The key also would be to have good pass protection and let them receivers shake loose of the one-on-one coverage they're sure to get down here.
All right, here we go as Kimbrough brings the Destroyers up to the line of scrimmage. Burse has got it, lost the football, it's loose, and they have to cover it. And quickly call, timeout, no, Kimbrough's going to try to kill it. But Burse can't get up the carpet in time. Time running down, we're at 20 seconds. 19 seconds, 18, 17. Burse is going to take the snap and kill the clock with 12 seconds left to go. And the ball is moved back at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, and that burns it down, too. So now it's 4th down. Now you have to decide if you want to kick a field goal or if you're going to go for the touchdown. And Nitmo's coming out, so I think they're going to try the field goal. But I don't know why. Look at this. This is the short side of the field over here. And you're going to try and run into that short side? I don't know about that call.
That means Nitmo is on. Kevin Mason is the holder. Nitmo has not missed tonight. A field goal or an extra point. Good snap. Nitmo delivers, and he missed it to the left. And it caroms into the stands.
Didn't miss it by much. He hit one of the uprights, but you know, you don't have much margin for error. Those goalposts are only 9 feet wide.
Hey, Junior Seau's here. He picked up that one.
When did he grow a ponytail? I don't recall that. And Junior gave it to Junior.
Yep, that's what it's all about right there. Well, 6 seconds left to go.
Nitmo looks awful happy for a guy who just missed a field goal.
Then he just lost one down the field here.
You betcha.
Lopez has got it, throws to the far side. It's caught with 2 seconds left to go. The catch made by Bobby McGowan.
I think you bring out the big boy. Bring out the bruiser.
That's who's coming. Aaron Alcorn. He's already got a 59-yard field goal tonight. And timeout has been called by Stan Brock, the head coach of the Dragons.
That's the second time we've seen McGowan's make that kind of catch. Boy, he lays out nicely, gets them big old arms stretched out, and he has very sure hands along that sideline.
Out of South Carolina State.
Look at the arms on this kicker. This is incredible. And hair all over those arms and got some big old biceps. I love this guy. Alcorn, he could play for me.
He could play for you?
Yeah, I wouldn't have no problem with that guy.
You mean to tell me you don't like those 5'8" guys like, say, Tony Franklin, somebody like that? He was a tough guy.
Yeah, whatever. Now, look at this guy. That's a kicker right there. He looked like Tom Dempsey. Remember old Tom Dempsey?
I remember Tom Dempsey.
He's a Dempsey-like guy.
Yeah, except Dempsey had a little more of a stomach around him. Here's the try. The klaxon sounds. It's long enough. He missed it. You can run it back. And this fielder has gone in for a touchdown.
Oh, man.
That is Chris Butterfield, who redeems himself. After 2 consecutive penalties, he picks up the loose ball, and it's a touchdown for Portland. Wow.
That's an unbelievable turn of events.
And no time left on the clock.
And a microcosm of this season for the Destroyers.
And Alcorn now will have a much closer opportunity for the extra point. And this one is drilled directly in between the uprights. Now Dave Wenham will take his team back to the locker room, and he is not a happy guy. And quite frankly, you can't blame him. After that, Stan Brock's club will go to the locker room feeling pretty good. We will take a break right here. It's 33-17. Dragons lead the Destroyers at half. Stay tuned. The Empire Sports Report is coming up next here on the Empire Sports Network. If you haven't been to 17 our score as we get ready for the second half. Jim Brinson, Ray Bentley, along with Bob Trimble. It has not been pretty the last 5 minutes of the second quarter.
Now Buffalo outscored 23-3 in that second quarter. Now the third quarter woes. They haven't scored in the third quarter in the last 3 games. They're going to have to tonight.
Here's Derek Branch looking for some running room. Oh, and he would have had it, but he got dragged down from behind as Bobby McGowan's once again using that 6'3" frame and those long arms, had a hold of his jersey and brought him down.
And that's all that was just a long arm takedown from McGowan's, because it looked like Branch had room coming out of that pile.
Hey, everybody, stop by your nearby Tops and register to win the Tops Touchdown Quarter. It's the third quarter. Each winner will receive 4 tickets to the next home game and a chance to win a trip to the Arena Bowl Championship and $100 Tops gift certificate. Olive the motion man, quick flip out. Derek Branch has got it, and he's hammered down at the 18.
Buffalo has been outscored in the third quarter this year, Jim, 126-57. On the other hand, the Forest Dragons have outscored their opponents 112-92. The third quarter has been a big problem for this Destroyer team, and they're going to have to come out of the doldrums to get back in this game in that third quarter tonight.
Second half just underway. Tony Burse as they try to run the football, but he gets strung out. Reed was the first Forest Dragon tackler to meet him.
Ever since the first run that David White had for, the 16-yard touchdown, the Forest Dragons have shut down the rushing game of the Destroyers.
Well, you talked about it in our opening game remarks. You talked about how good this defense is.
It is an excellent defense. They have good athletes along the front. They all can run and hit, and then they play good coverage.
Overhead shot. Tony Kimbrell calling signals. Wants to find Olive. Instead, he goes for Eddie Brown, and it will be enough yardage for the first down. The coverage by Mark Ricks, but it was Eddie Brown who made the reception and then stepped out of bounds right as he crossed the midfield line.
Yeah, and this is what the Destroyers need to do. Just get back, set up, throw it on the timing out there, and give Kimbrough time, and do the things they did in the first quarter when they moved the ball up and down the field and didn't have many problems at all. They stay with that kind of game plan and not make mistakes, they'll have a chance.
Olive will be the motion man. You'll see him come into your picture right now. Kimbrough going down in the heat. Loose football. Still on the ground. Who's got it? Portland has it. Brent Bowen coming up with a loose ball for the Forest Dragons.
That's the 14th sack of the year for the Portland Forest Dragons. That ties them for second in the league, and then the turnovers are 2-0 tonight. And Buffalo gives up more sacks than every other team but one in this league, and that's a bad trend that just continued. And that's just holding on to the ball just a little too long from Tony Kimbrough. The first thing he wanted wasn't there.
Ron Lopez brings the Dragons up to the line of scrimmage, now changes the play as they get McFadden to go in motion. Lopez looks to run with it. It is a busted play, and he's going to have to just drop down at the 20-yard line. And everybody was confused on that one.
Everybody but Tony Burse, who was a heat-seeking missile. They were trying to run that little delay pass over to the right side, and then Burse came over. First thing he did was knock the receiver down, and then he came over and knocked Lopez down. Watch this, it's going to be right up here. And he's trying to get it to Bowen, number 40. You see, Bowen just went down, and then Burse went after Lopez. Tony Burse, a one-man wrecking crew out there.
Dillard is the man in motion. Lopez Quick drop. Dillard makes the reception at the 14. Dillard out of the University of Memphis, 5'10", 185-pounder. This is his third year in the Arena Football League.
Dillard usually is a defensive specialist. Now he's getting some work on offense this year as you try and get guys. The more you can do, they say, the better off you are, the more chance you have of sticking around.
Ron Lopez with some spectacular numbers. Only 4 incomplete passes, and he's tossed 2 touchdowns, and he's looking for another. And that one was almost picked off by Kevin Jackson.
Yeah, and that's a play you have to make, Kevin Jackson.
Twice Jackson had been beaten as he cut underneath, Ray. You talked about it. This time he read that play and should have had it.
Yeah, his timing was perfect on this. And, you know, and you take enough chances, you're going to get a chance to make that play, but the hands weren't together. I mean, you got to come. They teach you when you catch the football, you got to have either the pinkies together or the thumbs together to make that catch. And Jackson's hands were too far apart.
Well, that means that Darren Alcorn is on again for another field goal attempt. He's already kicked one of 59 yards in tonight's game. This attempt is 28. It's a good spot. The kick on the way. And he rockets this one through, but hold it. Hold everything. Penalty marker is down. So let's wait. And that lucky young kid gets to hang on to the football.
Yeah, a little souvenir. Looked like the call came after the kick.
Here comes the announcement.
The field goal was cooked. The field goal was good. However, outside rush, which is illegal defense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
So they're going to wipe the 3 points
You
off.
betcha. Oh, now we got another flag flying out there. The tempers are flaring.
Yep. So they're going to wipe out the 3 points and keep the football on offense and try to get 6. Oh,
Yeah.
when you have a 33-17 advantage, you can do that.
Unsportsmanlike, number 63 of Buffalo. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
That's Carlton Hasselrig.
And the officials, they got big ears tonight. I mean, that's twice we've seen calls on something that someone said to the officials. First one came from Butterfield with the Dragons, and now Hasselrig. And Hasselrig will go find a seat on the bench.
Well, they're obviously not saying nice things about those officials' mothers.
Or any of their lineage.
Yes.
I'm sure they got deep into several generations to offend those poor officials.
Well, now from the 4-yard line, they're going to run the football. Oh, they pick up a couple of yards on that. The big man, Bowen, carrying at 6'3", 250 pounds. He's out of Eastern Kentucky.
And John DeWitt made the defensive play. Coming off the backside, DeWitt's going to show up big and just track this thing down and get Bowen right on the back. And then the help arrives.
So they give him a gain of 2. It's now at the 3-yard line. It'll be second down and goal for Portland. And this is not the way that the Buffalo Destroyers hope to begin the third quarter. Although in their last 3 games, they've been unable to score in the third quarter of play. And now motion everywhere, and well, there's plenty of hankies on the carpet.
See who they call it on. Lots of movement along that line. It looked almost like Lopez got out of there without the football as well.
Prior to the snap, offside, number 88 of the defense made contact, half the distance to the goal, still second down.
Well, that's Lynn Rowland.
There's Lynn Rowland right there. Yeah, and he wasn't the only one with that early start. I think Tony Jones got off the mark as well. No, actually that's David White. And yeah, when you get there, you might as well deliver some wood.
Well, see, he's trying to hold them up, though.
Yeah. Hold him up
Marker
so
goes
someone else
down.
can hit him.
Bowen trying to spin into the end zone. He can't get there. And now Lynn Rowland is doing that finger pointing school thing that we talked about earlier, and now tempers begin to flare a little more.
Yeah, people hitting other people upside the helmet. All that's going to do is hurt your hand and get you another flag.
Always amazes me when football players start flailing around. You got so much padding on, you can't hurt the guy. Unless you're Mean Joe Green against Lyle Alzado, where you drill him in the belly.
There you go.
Offside, number 88 of the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat, second down.
Well, it gets dicey down in this area, and then when it's over, here's what starts to happen. You get people pointing at people, people trying to slap people, and all kinds of pushing and shoving goes on. You know, I remember being in a Buffalo Bills training camp, and a couple guys got into a fight, Jim, and I said, man, that is so stupid. I would never do that.
You're such a liar.
Yeah. No, and then the next day, I go to the hospital to get x-rays on a hand that I broke punching another guy in the helmet. So, you know, how smart was I? But that's a kiss of death. As soon as you say, I'd never do that.
That's right.
You're the next guy in line.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you were always a mild-mannered guy.
Oh, yeah. I took it real easy.
And finally, timeout has to be called by Portland because they were confused on their offensive set.
Well, really, all they have to do is just line up over the ball. Buffalo's jumped off sides 2 times in a row. A couple more, and they'll be in the end zone.
This timeout brought to you by M&T Bank. M&T, all the bank you'll ever need. It's M&T Bank. Now, this is always what the fans like right here.
I consider myself a fan.
Okay.
Now, do we have a fancy name for this outfit?
Wild Wild West.
Yeah, we talked about being in the Wild Wild West. It just gets wilder and wilder.
All right, everybody, while we are being entertained by the Forest Dragon dancers, we'd like to remind you that for the best nightly wrap-up of the day, he's not as good looking as what we're watching on the field, but he does know his sports, and that's all that counts. It's Mike DeGeorge in the Empire Sports Report, 10:30 Monday through Friday. Josh Mora has it on Saturday and Sunday. It's the region's most comprehensive sports highlight show. Of course, it's the Empire Sports Report. By the way, it will follow our football game this evening. And you know, Mike's probably enjoying this timeout display.
Oh, sure he is. The Dragon ladies.
So you did your research.
Just took a wild guess.
All right, we're back to the real deal now. It's Arena Football League action. Fumble, loose football. Who's got it? Portland does. Bowen comes up with it.
That thing went right through John DeWitt's breadbasket. I mean, he jumped on that, and it slipped right through. He had a chance to get his third fumble recovery of the year. It just snuck away on it.
Well, that pushes it back to the 2-yard line. And it's right off the snap. Look at Lopez never had a hold of it.
That could have been a big break for the Destroyers. They just don't seem to be getting the breaks, though, you know.
Yeah.
That's been the story all year.
Ron Lopez is a big guy at 6'5", 215. He's out of Utah State. They run to the outside. He's not going to get in as the Buffalo defense comes up big. Rico Mack was there. DeWitt was there. Wayne Williams was there. David White was there.
The first guy there was Eddie Brown coming up on the contain. He's the one that made Bowen kind of reshuffle his feet, and that's when the rest of the troops arrived.
So that means they stop Portland from getting 6, and that brings in Alcorn for another field goal attempt. He's made a 59-yarder tonight.
And this might be out of his range.
It's still too close.
Yeah.
Snap is down, and the kick is up, and he drilled it. So Darren Alcorn tacks on the extra 3 points right there. 7:18 to go here in the third quarter. The end right there, Ray.
Yeah, they're missing 2 guys. See, everyone's got 1 letter, and because 2 guys didn't show up, this poor guy over here has got to go with the ONS.
Off the screen is the kick. Derek Branch has it for Buffalo. Looking for some running room, and he's knocked down short of the 10-yard line. Delvin Miles was there to bring him down, along with 94, Keith Embrick. 15-yard return on the kickoff.
Well, this game was 17-17 earlier on, and Portland scored 4 unanswered. Come up with 4 unanswered scores. 3 touchdowns and a field goal to kind of walk away with this thing. It's been the story for Buffalo all year. They play tight, and then all of a sudden the wheels come off.
And we've talked about their futility in the last few games in the third quarter. Olive is the man in motion. Kimbrough to throw, went underneath. Perry had it and lost it when he bounced off the carpet.
That, I believe, is the 3rd drop of the night by the Buffalo receivers. They're not helping Tony Kimbrough. And he has to get rid of this thing because the pocket starts to break down here at the end. He'll get hit a little bit. Oh, that was a cheap shot on the side of the head. That should have been called.
Yeah.
Well, apparently you can hit the quarterback late. Just don't say nothing bad to the official tonight.
2nd and 10. Branch is the motion man. Kimbrough to throw, goes over the middle. He's got Bobby Olive, shakes a tackle, still on his feet as he crosses the 20, up at the 21. He's got enough yardage for the first down.
And that's the thing that Bobby Olive has gotten better at. This is his 4th game of feeling where the defenders are going to be coming from and being able to just make that quick little move, dodge, and then get back upfield. Now here's Olive coming up and just doing a little turnaround right here. But watch this. He knows where this guy's coming. A little shake there, a little shake, get it upfield. It's a nice run after the catch to get the first down.
So Buffalo trying to make something happen here. Olive 8 receptions for 82 yards. He had 17 catches last week against San Jose. They go over the middle. Olive, touchdown! Wow! And penalty markers are down. And Tony Kimbrough's down as well.
Yeah, and they may have gotten to him late. But what a grab from Bobby Olive. And now the Buffalo Destroyers guys are raising their hands. It's going to be a touchdown, apparently.
Well, there could be a celebration penalty as well.
But what a grab by Bobby Olive. His 9th catch of the night. 26 grabs in the last 2 games.
Well, the officials trying to sort it out right now as to all of the penalties. Buffalo already going down to the other end of the field to get ready for the extra point. Mark Hamister, the owner of the team, saying, man, oh man, you know what? We're in all these games. Then we must find ways to let them slip away. And he'd like to see his team rattle back and close the gap in this one.
Holding 94 on the defense.
There we go. Come on, buddy. Yeah, get a round of applause.
They have to sort it all out here.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 33. That personal foul being administered on the try. After the score, there was a dead ball spike on number 1, and that also be administered on the try.
Well, we knew there were several of them.
A dead ball spike?
Sometimes you have to make notes on everything to sort it all out. This is a terrific catch by Olive.
It is. Watch how he gathers his feet, kind of plays off the defender and goes up and catches it at the top. And here's your dead ball spike. That wasn't that bad. I kind of like